brutal, without mercy. But you will be worse. Rip and tear, until it is done.
That piece of shit took a lot longer to fucking die than I thought it would. And it disappeared, because that's what enemies do in this game. They just disappear, instead of just leaving their bodies to just overload the game. Which is actually pretty smart game design. Mind you, they did this in Doom 3 as well, but it's always nice to see that. It's just as nice to see all the dead bodies as evidence that you've been wrecking face.
We have to contain this.
Anyways, I was freed from this random lump of stone for some inadequately explored reason. Let's go find out why. Also, why the hell was my suit in a lump of stone? This makes no sense. Nope. Definitely makes no sense. Yeah, I've kind of torn my throat up a bit because I've gone through... I think I've lost count how many attempts at recording this segment I've gone through. This is not surprising to me in the slightest, because it usually takes me multiple attempts to get through a frickin' segment. Just look at the Rise of the Triad LP I did before this. This one has had technical difficulties well beyond the incapability of me to both play the game and record commentary at the same time.
Cannot determine the cause of the demonic invasion until the Resup satellite is brought back online.
Okay.
Welcome. I'm Dr. Samuel Hayden. I'm the head of this facility. I think we can work together and resolve this problem in a way that benefits us both.
No! Yeah, I could never do that great of an impression with, of Hotel Mario. Once again, that was kind of terrible as well. Anyways, kind of got to go on a bit of an explanation on why this LP was shelved for the last 2 months. It started when I wanted to record this LP off of the Xbox One, because I didn't have my new computer yet, and I didn't think I'd be able to get my new computer for a while, so I went with the Xbox One, thinking that was probably the better way to go. I ended up getting some really bad desync issues in post-production, so I ended up having to shelve that LP as we get our shotgun. This thing is a piece of shit. I'm not gonna lie. I know it seems badass, but unfortunately it does suck in this game. As you will find out as I killed this spawn of Krillin and Melina here, which is actually our imp. And for once I managed to actually stagger him with one blast. It usually takes 2. In this case it took 1, which is fine. But reason I was able to bring this to you now from the computer is because my parents had 2 houses, they sold one, and they used some of the money from it to help me out with getting my computer. So that's why I have this computer. I actually showed this off in the previous video that I uploaded, the which I believe is called like Biblical Prime Introduction or something like that. That's the name of the computer. Oh, hello. So I did that, did some test recordings and stuff like that, and found that this LP was very much doable. So I think I'll feel a lot better doing it like this, because reason I wanted to get the computer to play Doom to begin with is because, I mean, yeah, I did have a good experience with it on the Xbox, but this is Doom we're talking about. It started as a PC game and was always going to be such a thing. So I had to have that sort of experience. it was just kind of obligatory. Anyways, as it is an id Software game, gotta fill this in with as many Easter eggs as possible, although that's not actually a direct id Software reference, that was just Bethesda in general. Kind of just have to have the obligatory Fallout reference here and there. I mean, you had the same thing in Rage, but yeah, I think that's about all that there is in terms of Fallout references in this game. Actually, no, I think there is at least one more that I'm aware of.
We cannot be allowed to leave this place. It would ruin everything.
Well, I'm buggering off, so I can finish explaining stuff, although I'll have to wait until this cutscene bit ends.
I'm willing to take full responsibility for the horrible events of the last 24 hours, but you must understand. Our interest in their world was purely for the betterment of mankind. Everything has clearly gotten out of hand now, yes. But it was worth the risk, I assure you.
Once again, our main character just telling this fellow to take a hike. Unsurprisingly, he reckons it was for the betterment of mankind, even though there was a dead body in the elevator with us. And so it is at this point that I humbly welcome thee to this LP of Doom 2016. I could have easily just started it at the start, but that's probably the best way to start it, to be perfectly honest. Anyways, kind of lost my train of thought. I'll try to gather that back as I explain some other various things about this game, such as these data pads. I'm not going to actively seek them all out, but if I do get them all, then that'd be great. I do plan on getting most of the secrets, if possibly all of them, but I will be going after at least the ones that are actually relevant to my interests in terms of collectible things and other awesome bits and pieces, like classic maps, collectible dolls, that sort of stuff, which I will go on a bit of a rapid explanation about as I come to those. In the meantime, I'm going to show you this one point in the game where you can actually just snipe enemies. These are very few and far between, because the bulk of the combat in this game is going to be jumping down here, causing shit to spawn in, and then just blowing them to pieces with your shotgun or whatever other weapons that you get. Of course, this is all we've got at the moment, so we kind of have to work with what we have and then just proceed on as we increase our arsenal over the course of the next few maps. Oh, hello. Anyways, we've got three different kinds of enemy to introduce here. We have our basic zombie-looking creatures, which look a lot more hellish because, I mean, they are kind of from hell, but at the same time they're not. It's kind of debatable. I've never actually really understood that. They're called the Possessed, and this here is a subcategory of those, called Possessed Soldiers. They're the closest things that you're going to get to zombie men in this playthrough, although in terms of appearance and functionality they're more like the chain gunners, the heavy weapon dudes. Because while they don't have chain guns, they do have rapid fire, I guess you could call them plasma guns. That's pretty much the only real thing that you could call them, or something along those lines. But they do have that charge up attack, which is very, very devastating if it does connect, and they shoot them at 3 at a time, but it does take them a bit of time to charge up, and you can interrupt that charge if you're able to stagger them, which, I mean, you can tell that you've staggered them if they start glowing blue, and then when they start glowing orange, that means you're close enough to them so that when you hit your melee key, you'll perform a glory kill on them, which will make them drop health and ammo and stuff like that. They don't drop armor unless you get a certain power up later on in the game, which I will talk about when we get to that point. Anyways, key cards make their return into the game as well, which is a very nice little throwback. The blue key that we need to get into here, into that door, is over here. Just kind of take it from the dead body, who has probably succumbed to the vacuum of space well before he was ripped apart. Unless there's just randomly an atmosphere here now. The abundance of clouds in the air kind of implies that to me. But up here we find a nice little secret. A random doll. And this doll's name is Blue Guy. There are 2 of these dolls in each level, and when you collect one, it nets you a weapon upgrade point, which I'll talk about the weapon upgrade points a little bit later because I can't use them yet. Actually, no, I can use it to add something to my pistol, but I'd rather not do that because the pistol, as awesome as it is, it's really just a rip-off of Quake 4's blaster. And unfortunately, it does not serve much use once you actually have another weapon. I mean, I found myself in my first attempt at this segment resorting to this a lot because I kept running out of ammo, but that's because I kind of just stopped paying attention to what the hell it was that I was doing. Because kind of having to talk and play the game at the same time is not the easiest thing to do in the world. Anyways, in here we have this little optional area, but it is highly relevant to my interests, especially given the whole 100% completion thing that I'm kind of looking to go for. Yeah, the pistol is really useful, because if you're able to get headshots on the possessed, they can just sort of... they just lose their heads. Anyways, these terminals will download an auto map into your dossier, which is accessed by hitting the tab key, like this. And here would be our thing. Just working out how I can navigate through this. But yeah, just go all the way down there, and there's your exit over there. Our only real objective. But on the way we can collect other bits and pieces, such as that doll, and come across the body of a dead elite guard. These elite guards have these weird chips embedded in their chests, and these actually give you Praetor tokens. And the Praetor tokens are used to power up your Praetor suit, which does have a role in the story to itself. It's not like UAC made this thing for you to use. It was actually kind of buried along with you. That kind of counts as spoilers, but not so much. You're still kind of wondering, you know, what the hell's going on. But I'm going to use this point because it lets me find bits and pieces that I can collect in each of the levels when I get close to them, or reasonably close to them. Because on top of secrets, you can also find suits of armor and some other various awesome little power-ups and stuff. So that perk I just put onto my auto map will allow me to see those things. So let's go ahead and throw our frag grenade, which we picked up a little bit earlier. Did I blow him to pieces? Yes, I did. I blew him away as well. The frag grenade in here is actually unlimited, but you have to wait for it to cool down before you throw another one. It's a bit of a counterbalance thing, because if you had infinite frag grenades and you could just throw them willy-nilly, that's how you just win the game far too easy like that. At least until you get up to the point where those explosives don't do a whole lot. Anyways, moving on, we have this random door, which does not open when we get near it, and there's no indication that we can open it directly. What we have to do is we have to go in here, and you'll find this lever. This is actually really awesome. There is a lever in each of the levels that you will play in this game. And when you pull it, it pulls that little string of notes. And when you go in, you are taken to the past. This is a room from the first level of Doom 2. And the ironic thing is, while each and every level has one of these, and you are able to play the full version of the map that you find in each level, it's supposed to be maps from Doom and Doom 2. The thing is, though, this is one of only 2 Doom 2 maps that you will unlock in this game. If there's that DLC that's sort of like an add-on to the campaign comes out, then we might see some more from Doom 2, possibly. But until such time, we kind of have this one and one other one, which I actually don't know where that one is. It's not in the next level, though, because the next level, minor spoilers ahead, has the first level from Doom 1 in it, which that shouldn't surprise a lot of people, because I mean, you'd expect it to be right there because this is the first level of the game, but apparently not. Anyways, moving on, I believe there is an optional area down here. Has some ammo, has that armor, which I don't need because I'm actually at my cap at the moment. It's a pretty piss poor cap, but we'll be able to work on that a little bit later in the game. So just pick up the ammo, and over here we have a combat support drone. These will give you mods for your weapons. Obviously you can only pick mods among the weapons that you actually have. So the only choices here are the charged burst, which lets us shoot 3 rounds at pretty much quick pace, or the explosive chop, which I'm taking. If you've played Rage, picking this basically gives you the equivalent of pop rockets for the shotgun in that game. The only difference is that, unlike the frag grenade before, it does require a cooldown. And from what I've seen, the grenades here are not quite as powerful as the pop rockets in Rage. Mind you, the shotgun in that game in general is like really freaking good. It has a tendency to one-shot things reasonably easily, and it's got the additional types of ammo that make it even more useful. One of which was the pop rockets, as I mentioned earlier. For the record, the other one was pulse shots, which are literally EMP blasts. They're really good against the authority, fellas. You'll find that out when I get around to LPing that game, because I do plan on LPing that game. I've beaten it like 6 or 7 times, so I should have enough knowledge of that one. Over here is an entirely pointless area. I don't know why it's entirely pointless or why it's even there to begin with, but it's just sort of there. I believe we want to go down here, actually. It's a bit of a valley. It's not that great, but... Oh, and I missed. Unfortunate, but whatever. Yeah, as you can see, the imps and the possessed are actually working together reasonably well. I mean, the idea is for them to just sort of... the imps to be the bigger focus, because they kind of are. They can actually hit you from a distance. And then you just have the other fellas just coming in and sort of trying to rip chunks out of you. So they work reasonably well, but I've got well over 20... I've got at least 20 years of experience playing FPSs. I'm not going to fall victim to such scrap. You'll also notice that my armor has disappeared very, very quickly. Wait. Yeah, there you bloody well are. Can you die, please? Thank you. Yeah, you do have a time limit on getting the glory kills in before they just sort of shake out of their staggeredness, so you kind of want to get that out of the way as quickly as possible. On bigger enemies, that time limit is shortened, so you may actually just have to blow another chunk of ammo to get it out of the way. And here we have the second of the dolls in this level, which is the classic guy. Simply because his colors are very similar to the classic Doom guy from Doom 1 and 2. The one that's not completely and utterly clad in armor and is actually exposed skin in vacuum. But apparently that's fine because he can still breathe in oxygen, even though his arms and legs are probably heating up and cooling off at ridiculously stupid rates. I am just applying logic to Doom games. It's not exactly the smartest thing to do, considering, you know, there's plasma guns and plasma guns don't exist, but the whole idea of them is kind of cool. Am I copping flak from somewhere? Yes, I am. And I kind of need some ammo, because I'm low on that, and I would like to have some ammo. What is this? Alright. Oh, I wanted to give him my favorite glory kill. I have a particular glory kill on those guys, which is my favorite by an absolute country mod, and it's freaking awesome. Looks like I am... Oh, hello. Oh, Jesus Christ, yeah. Sending barrels my way, blowing them up in just about in my face. I mean, if they blew them up right up in my face, then I'd be dead. Thankfully, that's not the case. And that's another nice little feature I really like. When you're low on health and you kill enemies, they drop more health. So if you can kill a multitude of enemies when you're at low health, and they all drop a shitload of health, you can pretty much heal yourself back up instantly. That's something I really, really like. So let me get up here, take care of this idiot. That's a nice one as well. Context sensitivity in the glory kills. Some people don't quite know how that actually works, and for some reason can just only nail the one glory kill like 26 times in a row. There's my favorite one. Just take the leg, rip it apart, and then just smash it into their face and kill it. And that is kind of awesome, considering it's the last enemy in this level, which I'm very happy to announce there, I guess. Okay, So that's pretty much it for this first level. It's pretty much introductory. I'm not going to lie, in my first playthrough of this game, I did die at least 3 or 4 times in this opening level. Because, I mean, it takes some time to get used to the quick pace of this game. I mean, when you're used to slow paceness, and obviously unfamiliarity with the...
Now 221 accident-free days.
Yeah, unfamiliarity with the game and the areas and stuff like that. Also, that guy is seriously out of freaking date.
God rested on the 7th day, but imagine how much further along we would be if he hadn't. The UAC is committed to excellence. That's why we implemented the 7-day work week. Now you can achieve greatness alongside your coworkers every day. Let's never stop achieving.
UAC are fucking idiots. Random just point where I just move around for no adequately explored reason. It's because I gotta turn on noise cancellation so that people don't hear the clicks and clacks on my keyboard too much. Anyways, that's the end of the first level. Normally I will end the segment at the finishing screen here, but there is one thing I'd like to do fit into the end of the segment that starts up in the next level, so we'll just continue here. These challenges and combat things are... Actually, the challenges will be explained immediately after this, so let's just continue, shall we? There we go. Had to continue to get that E1M1 achievement. I actually kind of like how that's there, because I want to try to go through all the achievements, because I haven't done a playthrough on the PC yet, so this will be my first playthrough on the PC. I did mess around with stuff like that, but anyways, resource ops. Know your enemy, apparently. I've known them for about 18 years at least, so I think we'll be right.
Hello, I am Vega, the sentient intelligence assigned to Mars. After running diagnostics on the Praetor suit, it appears that I can activate optional challenges that, when completed, will assist in upgrading your arsenal at an accelerated pace. I have added a tracking component to your dossier.
So, let's have a bit of a gander at that, shall we? Whereabouts is it? Oh yeah, here it is. Each level has 3 challenges, and each of them will add a weapon upgrade point to your arsenal. And as you can see down here, this map has 8 secrets, a field drone, 3 elite guards, as well as an Argent cell. I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to get through the entire level in one segment, so it might be a couple of segments before I can explain what Argent cells do. But this shouldn't take a whole lot of time to get through. I mean, obviously it's a bit longer than the previous level because we're starting to actually get right into the meat of the game as it is. The first level was just a bit of an introduction, but now we're actually starting to get into the proper game now and collecting our arsenal and fighting bigger shit. But yeah, I'd say that's about it. We're now in the resource ops facility and we will be tackling this area next time, so see you for that.